Hi, my name is Paul Damiani. I teach biology, physics, and biotechnology to freshmen, juniors, and seniors in high school in Massachusetts. And for my artifact, I'm obviously doing a video, but I think that the video, in my world, I would love it to sort of serve two purposes. The first is going to be as a submission for this, but once I actually get into, I explain how the Google Classroom is oriented. I'm going to sort of pretend that I'm talking to the students because I actually want to clip the video and just try and use what I'm using or what I'm submitting here and use that for the students. So forgive me for if this gets a little confusing, but my first little piece of this is I think this is going to be sort of a how-to video, a very broad stroke about how I would like my students to look at my Google Classroom. And then secondarily, I would like to do a smidge about how I would like my students to use the tools that I found through this course, specifically that emote tool. I really think that's going to be huge for me, and that's something that they're going to have to download and install. So I kind of want to walk them through that. But after that, it's going to be pretty. I don't want to say boilerplate, but I'm hoping that what I do with this is going to serve again two purposes: one for you to grade, and secondly, basically starting now, something that my students are going to use. So what I'm going to start out with is my a video, or not a video, my classroom from 23-24. And first, I would like to get on a soapbox and explain to the world how I loathe the stream. I think a stream is great for essentially announcing things. Hey, I saw this on YouTube. You might want to check it out if it doesn't exactly fit into some unit that we're doing. But maybe it's just my science nerd brain. The stream to me is way too disorganized. I do not know why everything just minimized. Sorry about that. Um, I think that the stream is just way too disorganized to be useful to students. I mean, it's great that I can throw everything up here, but to me there's it's just kind of thrown against a wall and doesn't really do anything productive for the students. So what's happening for my world is maybe just because of how I think, I like things to be much more linear. So I've got my Google Classroom really organized by, if we go way back in time, my welcome materials coming back to August, and then actually last year I tried a different classroom thing. It was something through Power School, and I couldn't stand it. So I came back to Google Classroom in November. But you'll see, starting in November, and then December, and then getting through December and coming into January, if you look at all the due dates, my classwork is all really organized by units and due dates. So every resource that's out there is up there for students to use, and all the assignments are out by due dates, and the resources that I use, and essentially soft copies of things that are hard copies that I put out in class, or hard copy, or I'm sorry, soft copies of assignments that I put out in class. All of those things are sort of really neatly organized in my Google Classroom under the classwork tab. So for my students, I would love it if you never paid attention to the stream. I mean, if something pops on your phone and you subscribe to the class on your phone, oh, I'm watching PBS. Why I would do that is, beyond me. But while I'm watching PBS, oh, I found this great resource, or oh, something came across TikTok and that's a really nice resource. Good explanation for something we're talking about in class. I'll put that on the stream, but the day-to-day stuff is all going to be in classwork. So to start out with, I just want to talk about a pair of things. First off is this little bookmark funky thing. That is a resource or a material that the class uses. So I would upload some document, and you can click on it, but you can't edit it. It's just something for you to see. So unfortunately for me, it's showing my interface where I can edit these things. But from your interface, you're just going to essentially see a PDF of things that you won't, really use, or you'll use, but you can't really type into it. The other thing that I'd like you to see is sort of this clipboard thing, and that is an assignment. And obviously from last year, a bunch of kids didn't do it. But this is a survey that I have put together, how, getting to know you. I want you guys to be able to do Screencastify so I know how to pronounce your name. This is really cool as we go through the year. Screencastify, if you use this essentially in the beginning of the year, we're going to come back to it throughout the year where you're going to do some presentations, either using voiceovers or using your cameras to submit things. So that's really cool. So continuing, then we go into our third unit. Our first and second unit had already been done, but we go into our third unit, and I'm hoping that you can sort of see a couple of, we've got osmosis practice. I don't even know. Yeah. So I've had students that this resource goes out, and you can actually see here the resource has gone out, and if you can look at it, it's a blank sheet and it's got some instructions. And what we did in class, I actually handed this out, and what students will then do is proceed to color that in and then snap a picture of it from their Chromebook, and voila, they could submit it to me. So there are a couple ways to do this. You can do it by Kami, and we can talk about that in class, or you can just get the old pencil and paper, and we can do that in class. So I hope that kind of makes sense in terms of looking at assignment types. Those are the real two things that I want to hone in on. And again, now I'm going to go to a sort of a different class that I have, and it's a little different, but go with me on this. So here's chapters 1 and 2. Here's just a test for my biotechnology class. But for what I want my students to really gain an appreciation of is, and I'm going to try and build more into this as we go, tech tools that I would like to use for the class. And I would like the students to actually gain an appreciation for. So there was a video that I came across that if you look at it, it'll actually walk you through, and I'm not going to, because I don't want to talk over this person, but there's a way that you can go ahead and use your iPhone, and it's only iPhones. It's, as much as I love my Android, iPhones have figured out where you can turn an or an iPhone Note into a multi-file thing that you can upload up into Google Classroom. And it's just much cleaner than having a bunch of different attachments to a single assignment. So I'm hoping that these resources, and you can see again, they're bookmarks, they're resources. You can't really edit them, but I would appreciate it if you would take a look at these. Mote is something else. I'm going to try it out this year, and I really, it's going to be a time saver for me, but also something that I think would be beneficial for you, because as I'm grading lab reports, when I was in high school, I never knew if my student was, or if my teacher was serious or sarcastic or angry at me or whatever. So Mote, if we go into it, it's a resource. It's a link, and what I'm going to ask you to do is go to this page and download the extension. And it's on the Chrome Web Store. There's one on the Edge Web Store. I believe there's one on the Mac or the MacBook Web Store, or whatever that is, the iStore. But what's going to happen is it's going to allow, and if you click here, the Chrome extension, what's going to allow to happen is I can just highlight something on your lab report and give verbal feedback. And if you put the app if you put the extension in your computer, then you will be able to get that feedback. And even if you don't, you can click, it's like 3 extra clicks, you can get the feedback. But what I'm hoping for is I just, as a time saver for me, I just want to be able to read your lab report and say, yeah, this right here, I can highlight whatever, or yeah, featured right here. Oh, 500,000 users. That's awesome and great job. And you would hear that feedback instead of me having to type 5,000 users or 500,000 users. It's a great thing. So I'm hoping that would help. Next up, Cami. There's a little how to deal with Cami. There's a quick, I would like the extension. And this is, again, I'm in the web store, but of course I'm using Microsoft. So sorry about that. But you pop the extension down. I'm pretty sure our school actually makes it so that every school issued Chromebook has the extension on it already. But this is going to allow you to essentially write on any PDF that I give you without having to print it out and then use a pencil and paper. Like, you can just use your finger if you've got a touch screen, or you can pop in a text box and answer questions. So Cami for us has been amazing. And I firmly plan on using it a lot more, but there is a little getting to know you video, so I'd appreciate it if you would just watch that. So those are a couple of tools that I would like you guys to use. And as it's on the Google page, my expectation is that you're going to use the resource, download the extension, and we'll go from there. Alrighty?